Imagine this. It's 1971. You're on a plane, probably wearing your finest polyester suit, hoping to get to your destination without any fuss. Suddenly, a guy in a suit passes a note to the flight attendant. It's not a love letter, it's a hijacking. The man? None other than the mysterious D.B. Cooper. He's got a bomb, or maybe just a very convincing fake, and he's got demands. Cooper's demands were pretty straightforward, $200,000, which, let's be honest, wouldn't even get you a decent studio apartment in New York City these days, and 4 parachutes. Now here's where things get interesting. Cooper, after getting his demands met, decides to do something straight out of an action movie. He jumps out of the back of the plane with the money, into the night sky, never to be seen again. Just poof, gone. This wasn't just any plane, this was a Boeing 727, an aircraft roughly the size of a small whale, cruising at hundreds of miles per hour. And our man Cooper decided to take his chances with the open sky. It was a daring move, one that captured the imagination of the public and left authorities completely baffled. The audacity of it all. You have to admire the sheer guts of the guy. I mean, who thinks, you know what would make this flight more interesting? Jumping out of it with a bag full of cash? It's like something a 5-year-old would come up with while playing with toy airplanes. Cooper's escape was a gamble of epic proportions. He had no idea what lay below. Dense forests, freezing lakes, maybe even a Sasquatch family reunion. But he jumped anyway. It was a move that cemented his place in criminal legend. Think about it. The man was literally playing poker with the elements. He had the wind, the rain, and the sheer force of gravity as his opponents. And the stakes? His freedom, or a very, very hard landing. It's enough to make even the most seasoned gambler break out in a cold sweat. Meanwhile, back on the plane, you've got the passengers and crew trying to wrap their heads around what just happened. One minute they're sipping on their in-flight cocktails, probably those little bottles of tomato juice. The next, they're part of the wildest story ever told. I bet the flight attendants had a field day with that one at their next union meeting. You think you had a rough flight? Let me tell you about the time I served peanuts to a guy who then jumped out of the plane with a sack of cash. And let's not forget the poor souls who had to count out that $200,000. I mean, talk about a boring Tuesday afternoon at the office. Hey Gary, want to help me count this giant pile of cash? It might be cursed, but at least it's something to do. The aftermath of Cooper's daring escape was pure chaos. The FBI launched a full-scale manhunt, chasing down every lead, every rumor, every guy named Dan who even looked sideways at a parachute. They were determined to catch this modern-day Robin Hood, but Cooper, like a phantom, had vanished into thin air. Years passed and the legend of D.B. Cooper grew. He became a folk hero to some, a cautionary tale to others. And then, in 1980, a twist in the tale. A young boy, digging on a beach near the Columbia River, stumbled upon a soggy, decaying package. Inside, a significant chunk of Cooper's ransom money. Talk about finding treasure. Although finding a soggy $20 bill in your pocket after doing laundry is probably more exciting, the discovery of the money only deepened the mystery. How did it get there? Was Cooper still out there, living the good life on stolen 20s? Or had the elements finally claimed him, leaving nothing but a stash of cash as a reminder of his audacious crime? The FBI, despite having a whole team dedicated to this case, seriously, they called it Norjack, never managed to crack it. Cooper had pulled off the ultimate disappearing act, leaving behind more questions than answers. It was like the world's most frustrating game of Clue, but instead of Colonel Mustard in the library with a candlestick, it was D.B. Cooper. Somewhere. With $200,000. So what really happened to D.B. Cooper? Did he survive the jump and live to spend his loot on Mai Tais and Hawaiian shirts? Or did he become a cautionary tale about the dangers of mixing ambition with a parachute? The world may never know. Personally, I like to imagine him sipping cocktails on a beach somewhere, regaling anyone who will listen with his tale of daring do. Or maybe he's living a quiet life under an assumed name, occasionally reminiscing about the time he pulled off the greatest heist in aviation history. Whatever happened to D.B. Cooper, one thing's for sure, his story continues to fascinate and intrigue. He's a reminder that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction, and that even in our highly surveilled world, a little mystery can still exist. And if you're ever on a flight and see a guy in a suit ordering an unusually large number of sodas, well, maybe keep an eye on him. Well, what do you think? Did he pull it off? You never know. Don't forget to comment down below, like and subscribe to my channel. As a matter of fact, let us know if you want more content like this. Happy flying!